Have you ever wondered who you were before you were born? Or if this life is just one chapter in a much longer story? What if the answers to these questions could change the way you see yourself, your struggles, and your purpose? Welcome to Soulful Healing Podcast, where ancient wisdom meets modern curiosity. Today, we explore one of the most profound questions of all. Who were you before you were born? Let's dive into the teachings of Buddhism and discover how they might illuminate the mysteries of our existence. Different cultures have offered their own answers. In Christianity, the belief in a creator God who shaped the world and humanity is central. The story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden speaks to the divine origin of life. In Hinduism, the concept of Brahman, the ultimate reality, suggests that all life emerges from and returns to this infinite source. Meanwhile, Buddhism and Hinduism share the idea of reincarnation, where life is a continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth driven by karma. The Buddha approached this question differently. He was less concerned with metaphysical speculation about where we came from and more focused on understanding the nature of suffering. He taught that the cycle of birth and death, samsara, is perpetuated by craving and ignorance. Liberation, or nirvana, comes not from knowing our origins, but from freeing ourselves from these chains. Rather than seeking answers in the distant past, the Buddha encouraged us to look within. Through mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, we can uncover the truth of our existence here and now. The path to liberation is not about where we came from, but about how we live in the present moment. While spirituality offers profound insights, science provides another lens through which to explore our origins. The Big Bang Theory tells us that the universe began nearly 13.8 billion years ago, and from that explosive moment, galaxies, stars, and planets formed. On Earth, the story of evolution reveals how life emerged from simple organisms, evolving over billions of years into the incredible diversity we see today. Humans, too, are part of this grand narrative. Our species, Homo sapiens, emerged in Africa around 300,000 years ago. Through migration, adaptation, and innovation, we spread across the globe, creating cultures, languages, and civilizations. Science shows us that we are deeply connected to all life on Earth, sharing a common ancestry with every living thing. At first glance, science and spirituality may seem like opposing ways of understanding our origins. But perhaps they are two sides of the same coin. Science explains the how, the mechanisms and processes that shape the universe and life itself. Spirituality, on the other hand, explores the why, the meaning and purpose behind our existence. Today, the question of our origins continues to inspire curiosity and wonder. Whether through science, spirituality, or philosophy, we seek to understand our place in the universe. But perhaps the most profound answer lies not in the past, but in how we choose to live our lives today. How do we know if past lives are real? Is there any evidence to support this ancient belief? The Buddha himself provided the first clues, recalling detailed memories of his countless past lives during his enlightenment. And today, modern research is uncovering even more fascinating evidence. Let's begin over 500 years ago with the story of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha. After years of seeking enlightenment, the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree and vowed not to rise until he had discovered the truth. During his meditation, he is said to have recalled countless past lives, each one filled with vivid details, names, places, and even emotions. These memories became the foundation for the Buddhist concept samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. In Buddhism, the idea of past lives is central to understanding the nature of existence. The teachings explain that our actions, or karma, in one life shape our future lives. This cycle continues until we achieve enlightenment, breaking free from the wheel of samsara. The Jataka Tales, a collection of stories about the Buddha's past lives, illustrate this beautifully. These tales show how the Buddha, in his previous incarnations, cultivated virtues like compassion, patience, and wisdom, qualities that ultimately led to his enlightenment. Buddhism also teaches that memories of past lives are not uncommon. In fact, advanced meditators often report accessing these memories during deep states of meditation. The Buddha himself encouraged his followers to reflect on their past lives as a way to understand the impermanence of existence and the interconnectedness of all beings. Modern science has taken a keen interest in these ancient teachings. At the University of Virginia, Dr. Ann Stevenson and his team spent decades studying children who claimed to remember past lives. These children recounted specific details about their previous lives, names, locations, and even how they died. Astonishingly, many of these details were verified as accurate. Is this mere coincidence or evidence of reincarnation? One of the most famous cases is the story of Shanti Devi, a young girl from India. At just 4 years old, Shanti described her past life in detail. Her name, address, and even the names of her husband and children. When taken to the town she remembered, everything matched perfectly. Her story captivated the world, even drawing the attention of Mahatma Gandhi. Is this undeniable proof of past lives? It's not just children who report these experiences. Many adults have shared spontaneous memories of past lives, often triggered by something as simple as a scent, a familiar place, or a voice. These memories are often vivid and detailed, leaving them convinced they've lived another life. Another fascinating area of research is past life regression therapy. Under hypnosis, some individuals recall detailed memories of lives they believe they've lived before. They describe historical periods, cultures, and events with astonishing accuracy. Details they claim they couldn't have known otherwise. While skeptics argue this could be the subconscious mind playing tricks, others see it as compelling evidence of reincarnation. Scientists have also explored the brain's role in these experiences. Some theories suggest that past life memories could be linked to genetic memory or even quantum consciousness. While these ideas are still in their infancy, they open up exciting possibilities for understanding the mysteries of life and death. Beyond science, many spiritual traditions around the world embrace the idea of past lives. From Hinduism to ancient Egyptian beliefs, the concept of the soul's journey through multiple lifetimes is a common thread. These traditions offer their own explanations and practices for accessing memories of past lives, often through meditation or spiritual rituals. Countless individuals have shared their personal stories of past life memories. Some recall being soldiers in ancient wars. Others remember living as artists, farmers, or even royalty. While these accounts are deeply personal and often emotional, they raise important questions about the nature of consciousness and the continuity of the soul ball. If past lives are real, how does consciousness move from one life to the next? This is where Buddhism offers a profound explanation, one that challenges our conventional understanding of the self and the soul. Buddhism describes consciousness as a mind stream, a continuous flow of thoughts, experiences, and awareness. Unlike the idea of a permanent soul, this mind stream is ever-changing, yet it maintains a sense of continuity, much like a river. But what does this really mean? Let's break it down. Imagine a river. The water is never the same from one moment to the next, yet the river itself persists. In the same way, our consciousness is fluid, constantly evolving, yet carrying forward the imprints of our past actions, thoughts, and emotions. This is why Buddhism emphasizes the importance of mindfulness and ethical living, because every thought and action leaves an imprint on the mind stream, shaping our future experiences. Through practices like meditation, we can observe the mind stream directly. We begin to see how thoughts arise, persist for a moment, and then pass away. This observation helps us understand that there is no fixed, unchanging self at the core of our being. Instead, there is only this ever-flowing stream of consciousness. At the moment of death, the mind stream does not cease. Instead, it continues, influenced by the final thought moment, a powerful imprint that shapes the next phase of the journey. This is why, in Buddhist traditions, great importance is placed on the dying process. A calm and peaceful mind at the time of death can lead to a more favorable rebirth. In Tibetan Buddhism, this transition is described in great detail. After death, consciousness enters an intermediate state known as the bardo. Here, the mind experiences a series of visions and encounters, shaped by past karma and mental habits. The bardo is a state of profound potential. It is a time of both challenge and opportunity, where the mind can either awaken to its true nature or become entangled in the cycle of rebirth. During the bardo, the mind may encounter peaceful and wrathful deities, which are manifestations of its own inner states. These visions can be overwhelming, but they also offer a chance for liberation. If the mind can recognize these appearances as projections of its own consciousness, it can break free from the cycle of rebirth and attain enlightenment. If the mind does not achieve liberation in the bardo, it will seek a new form, driven by its karmic tendencies. Rebirth is not seen as a punishment or reward, but as a natural process of cause and effect, a continuation of the mind's journey. The conditions of the next life, whether one is born into favorable or unfavorable circumstances, are determined by past actions and intentions. Yet, the goal is not to endlessly cycle through lives. Through mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, one can break free from this cycle, realizing the true nature of consciousness and attaining liberation. This is the ultimate aim of Buddhist practice: to awaken to the reality of impermanence, interconnectedness, and the absence of a fixed self. Buddhist teachings also emphasize the importance of preparing for death throughout our lives. By cultivating positive qualities like generosity, ethical conduct, and mental clarity, we can create the conditions for a peaceful and mindful death. This, in turn, can lead to a more favorable rebirth or even liberation. Moreover, the concept of the mind stream reminds us of our interconnectedness with all beings. Just as a river is made up of countless drops of water, our individual consciousness is part of a vast, interconnected web of life. This understanding can inspire us to live with greater compassion and responsibility, knowing that our actions have far-reaching consequences. Consciousness, like the river, flows on. It carries the echoes of our past, the potential of our present, and the promise of our future. In understanding this journey, we may find not only answers about life and death, but also a deeper connection to the essence of who we truly are. But what guides this flow of consciousness? What determines where and how we are reborn? The answer lies in a concept that is often misunderstood but is central to Buddhist teachings: karma. Karma, in Sanskrit, means intentional action. Every action we take creates karmic imprints. These imprints do not disappear but remain in our consciousness, influencing the conditions of our future rebirths. However, karma is not a fixed sentence. It creates tendencies, not an unchangeable fate. When we live with compassion and help others, we plant positive seeds. Conversely, when we act out of selfishness or harm others, negative seeds are sown. These seeds not only affect our current life, but also shape our future rebirths. The Buddha taught that beings are reborn into families and circumstances that align with their karmic nature. A person who lives with compassion and wisdom is likely to be reborn in favorable conditions, where they have the opportunity to continue their spiritual growth. On the other hand, those who live with greed and anger may find themselves in more challenging circumstances. But karma is not just about actions. It is also driven by craving, attachment, and desire. These forces create a resonance between karmic tendencies and the circumstances of rebirth. When we let go of attachment, we can break free from the cycle of samsara and attain liberation. So, how can we transform our karma? The answer lies in mindfulness. When we become aware of our actions, words, and thoughts, we can plant positive seeds and create a brighter future. To understand how karma works, let's take a deeper look at its three types: positive karma, negative karma, and neutral karma. Positive karma rises from acts of kindness, generosity, and love. Negative karma stems from harmful actions, such as lying, stealing, or hurting others. Neutral karma refers to actions that have no significant impact, like routine daily tasks. Think of karma like planting seeds in a field. Positive actions are like planting healthy seeds that grow into strong, fruitful trees. Negative actions are like planting weeds that choke the growth of good plants. And neutral actions are like planting seeds that neither harm nor benefit the field. Over time, the quality of the harvest depends on the seeds we've sown. But karma is not just about individual actions. It's also about the intentions behind those actions. The Buddha emphasized that the mind is the source of all karma. If we act with a pure heart and good intentions, even small actions can create powerful positive karma. Conversely, if we act with malice or selfishness, even seemingly good deeds can lead to negative outcomes. Karma is also interconnected. Our actions not only affect us, but also influence those around us. When we help others, we create a ripple effect of positivity. This is why cultivating compassion and practicing generosity are so important in Buddhism. They not only benefit us, but also contribute to the well-being of the entire world. One of the most profound teachings of the Buddha is that we have the power to change our karma. No matter how much negative karma we've accumulated in the past, we can always start anew. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and ethical living, we can purify our minds and create a new path for ourselves. Rebirth is not just about where we end up in the next life. It's about the continuous process of growth and transformation. Each moment is an opportunity to create new karma and shape our future. By letting go of attachments and cultivating wisdom, we can break free from the cycle of rebirth and achieve nirvana, the ultimate liberation. Karma teaches us that we are the architects of our own destiny. Every thought, word, and action matters. By living with awareness and compassion, we can create a life of peace, happiness, and freedom. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Start today and take that step toward a brighter future. Yet, if karma shapes our rebirth, what exactly is being reborn? This brings us to one of the most challenging and profound teachings in Buddhism, the concept of no self. Buddhism challenges the notion of a permanent, unchanging self. Instead, it teaches that what we call the self is not a fixed entity, but a collection of impermanent, interconnected processes. These processes are known as the 5 aggregates: form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. Let's break this down. The first aggregate is form, your physical body, the tangible aspect of your existence. It's constantly changing, from the cells in your body to the air you breathe. Next is sensation, the feelings that arise from your contact with the world. Pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, these sensations are fleeting, never staying the same. Then comes perception, the way you recognize and interpret the world around you. But even your perceptions shift as you grow and learn. The fourth aggregate is mental formations, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. These are like waves in the ocean, rising and falling, never static. Finally, there's consciousness, the awareness that ties all these experiences together. But even consciousness is a stream, always flowing, never the same from one moment to the next. Now, if the self is just a collection of these ever-changing processes, what happens when we die? This brings us to the Buddhist concept of rebirth. But here's the twist: rebirth isn't about a soul traveling from one body to another. Instead, it's the continuation of a pattern of energy, shaped by karma, the actions and intentions we create in our lives. Imagine a candle flame lighting another candle. The flame isn't the same, but it's not entirely different either. It's a continuation, a process. In the same way, consciousness continues without a permanent self. This is why Buddhism often uses the analogy of a flame to describe the nature of existence. It's dynamic, interconnected, and always in motion. So, if there's no permanent self, what does this mean for us? It invites us to let go of clinging to a fixed identity. It encourages us to see life as a dynamic, ever-changing process, and in doing so, we can find freedom from suffering and a deeper connection to the world around us. Think about it. When we cling to the idea of a fixed self, we create suffering. We become attached to who we think we are, our achievements, our possessions, even our beliefs. But when we realize that the self is fluid and interconnected, we can let go of these attachments. We can embrace change and find peace in the present moment. Nature itself teaches us this truth. A tree isn't the same from season to season. It sheds its leaves, grows new ones, and adapts to its environment. Yet it remains a tree. In the same way, we are constantly changing, yet we continue to exist as part of a greater whole. This understanding of no self also deepens our sense of connection to others. If there's no fixed me, then the boundaries between me and you begin to blur. We start to see that we're all part of the same web of life, shaped by the same forces of impermanence and interdependence. These ancient teachings may seem abstract, but they are now finding echoes in modern science. As researchers explore the mysteries of consciousness and the brain, they are uncovering insights that align surprisingly well with Buddhist wisdom. Neuroscience, the study of the brain and nervous system, is uncovering fascinating insights into how our minds work. But one question remains elusive: the hard problem of consciousness. How do the physical processes in our brain give rise to our rich, subjective experiences? Our thoughts, emotions, and sense of self. Neuroscience, the study of the brain and nervous system, is uncovering fascinating insights into how our minds work. But one question remains elusive: the hard problem of consciousness. How do the physical processes in our brain give rise to our rich, subjective experiences? Our thoughts, emotions, and sense of self. One of the most intriguing parallels between science and Buddhism is the concept of self. Neuroscience reveals that our sense of self is a construct of the brain, a narrative created by neural networks. Similarly, Buddhism teaches the principle of anatta, or no self, suggesting that the self is an illusion, a collection of ever-changing processes rather than a fixed entity. Brain plasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, is a cornerstone of modern neuroscience. This concept aligns with Buddhist teachings on the impermanent nature of the mind. Both perspectives emphasize that change is not only possible, but inherent to our existence. Through practices like meditation, we can actively shape our minds and, consequently, our lives. The practical applications of this convergence are profound. Mindfulness and meditation, once seen as purely spiritual practices, are now being integrated into healthcare, education, and even corporate settings. Research shows that these practices can reduce stress, improve focus, and enhance overall well-being. The ancient wisdom of Buddhism is finding new relevance in our modern, fast-paced world. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the mind, let us remember that science and spirituality are not opposites. They are two paths leading to the same truth. By embracing both, we can deepen our understanding of ourselves and the universe we inhabit. Together, they offer a holistic approach to living, one that honors both the empirical and the experiential. So, what does all of this mean for how we live our lives? Understanding rebirth and the interconnectedness of all beings can profoundly change the way we see ourselves and the world around us. Understanding rebirth can transform the way we view life and death. It reminds us that death is not an end, but a transition. This knowledge can ease our fear of the unknown and help us embrace life's challenges and joys with a deeper sense of purpose. When we recognize that every being has lived countless lives, we begin to see the threads that connect us all. This awareness fosters compassion and dissolves prejudice. We realize that every act of kindness, no matter how small, ripples through the fabric of existence. The Buddha taught us to cultivate positive qualities like generosity and kindness, knowing that our actions have consequences far beyond this lifetime. Every good deed, every moment of love, plants a seed for a brighter future, not just for ourselves, but for all beings. Meditation and self-reflection are powerful tools to uncover patterns and tendencies from past lives. By looking inward, we can understand our habits, fears, and strengths, and use this knowledge to grow and transform. Daily reflections on impermanence and the consequences of our actions can guide us toward a more mindful and purposeful life. When we live with awareness, we make choices that align with our deepest values, creating a legacy of peace and compassion. Imagine a world where everyone understands the impact of their actions across lifetimes. Education and awareness about rebirth can inspire future generations to live with greater empathy and responsibility. Teaching children about interconnectedness can help build a more harmonious society. Or relationships, too, take on new meaning when viewed through the lens of past lives. The people we meet, our family, friends, and even strangers, may have shared countless journeys with us. This understanding can deepen our bonds and help us navigate conflicts with patience and love. Living with the knowledge of past encourages us to contribute to the well-being of others. Acts of service, no matter how small, become part of a greater tapestry of kindness that spans lifetimes. When we give selflessly, we create positive karma that enriches not only our lives but the lives of countless others. Even in the hustle and bustle of modern life, we can find moments to connect with the deeper truths of existence. By slowing down and observing the world around us, we can see the impermanence of all things and the interconnectedness of every moment. Sharing our journey with others can also be a powerful way to grow. In communities that embrace the wisdom of past lives, we find support, inspiration, and a shared commitment to living mindfully. Together, we can create a ripple effect of positive change. Living with the knowledge of past lives is not just about understanding where we've been. It's about shaping where we're going. It's a journey of wisdom, compassion, and boundless possibility. So, let us walk this path together with open hearts and mindful steps. Who were you before you were born? Buddhism offers a profound answer. You are part of an endless flow, shaped by your actions, your choices, and your intentions. By understanding this, we can live with greater awareness, compassion, and purpose, knowing that every moment is an opportunity to shape our future. In this life and beyond. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery on Soulful Healing Podcast. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, share with someone who might need it, and leave a review to let us know your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious, stay mindful, and keep exploring the depths of your soul.